Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite big sister here, Jet Carter. I am a movie and show fanatic, so I just feel like, why don't I share what I'm watching? It's a Hulu original, and it's called The Other Black Girl. It's actually starring two beautiful black women, Sinclair Danielle and Ashley Murray. It talks about black girls working in a 9-to-5 office setting and how you kind of have to conform to whatever that office setting is. It has a lot to do with hair. When it comes to hair, I feel like I don't really like to conform to the norm. When I worked in the office setting, I was always treated nice when I wore my hair like that versus if I wore my hair like this. Nella, which is the main character of the show, she's an editor at a publishing company. She's the only black girl that works there. The publishing company is ran by these old white men, and they still set in their old ways, so they're trying to get hip to the new ways, which is why they chose to bring in another black girl. The other black girl is Hazel. Hazel actually do conform to the norm that they would say is an office setting. Like, you know how they'll say like locks aren't professional? Hazel conformed to the norm. The first episode is Nella and Hazel becoming friends. The second episode, Nella actually disagrees with the main author of the company, and she chooses to blow up her job, which almost causes her to lose her job, because basically the author, what he wrote about in the book, it was very much whitewash. It was very offensive. She was the main person that did not agree with it, even though everybody in the whole office didn't agree, but she didn't agree with it out loud. Everybody didn't say it out loud because he was one of the breadwinners of the office. She almost blew up her job with that. The third episode talks about how Hazel actually threw Nella under the bus. Hazel and Nella had a discussion about the book. When it came to them confronting the author, Hazel threw Nella on the bus. The third episode, it talks about them like getting back together and becoming friends. There's this book that Nella is actually obsessed with. The actual publishing company that she works for published the book. Nella and Hazel end up befriending each other over this book called The Burning Heart, which is Nella's favorite book. Like, she reads that book like back and forth. You know how you can have a show that you'll watch over and over again? Kind of like how I watch Insecure like 3 or 4 times. I've probably watched Insecure probably like once a week. That's how Nella feels about this book. They end up befriending each other over the book. This show, I can say it's a comedy, and it's kind of sinister like, and actually the show is based on an actual real book, which is called The Other Black Girl, which she also mentioned, Zakaya mentioned that the film was inspired by Jordan Peele's Get Out. Like I said before, it kind of examines like the realities of like racism and sexism, like in the workplace, how you wear your hair. You kind of know like how the relationship is going to go between these two because of those two things. That happens a lot in the workplace. And mainly because people want to get promotions, or some girls sometimes just want to be the only black girl in the office too. That happens a lot too. When another black girl comes into the office, that becomes competition for them sometimes, and they just don't like it. I hate to say it, but it's true. They fired the author who produced that racist book. The head of the company ended up moving Nella up, and she became lead editor, and Diana Gordon and her became friends. Nella also became close friends with Hazel, so they ended up hanging out with each other. Hazel invited her over for like a girls' night. Hazel actually wants Nella's life, so she started like coming over to her house unannounced in episode 6, showing up to Nella's boyfriend job without Nella even knowing. She had a hunch that something wasn't right. All of a sudden, Hazel has this jar of grease in her hand, where she sits down and she starts like greasing Nella's scalp, and it kind of put like a spell on her. That's the weird, sinister part about it. Episode 9, that's when they tell the story about Hazel, who she really is. She ended up meeting Diana Gordon at some kind of conference, and Diana Gordon put the grease in her hair, and now boom, all of a sudden she's successful. Diana Gordon actually is the person that's creating like this weird relationship between all of the girls, and it's like they're selling their souls to become successful. Nella actually rocks this beautiful fro, but by the end of the show, Nella ends up with a bust down wig. But the way that they left us off on the cliffhanger, I feel like Nella is actually not conforming to they bullshit. She's just doing this to kind of get up under them and play up under them and see what's really going on. If I had to rate the show, I would say it's probably I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10. So I liked it. It was some little parts that I was like, oh, okay. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this review on this show. Again, if you have not watched it yet, please check it out. Let me know what you think about the show down in the comments. Y'all let me know if y'all want more videos like this because I'm willing to do more. I just got to get used to doing it and try to find a style and a way that I want to do it. So anyway, that's all my time today. It's your favorite big sister here, Jack Carter. All right, peace.